So I'm quickly going to show you how to do what we did today without using Virtualbox, using a cloud server. So you can search for Azure for students, and then you will end up on this page. I'll also post a link on ClickUp, and then you can basically just go and sign up for it. So under Start Free. So I'm already have an account, so I'm going to log into that account. So this is what it looks like when I log in. So for me, I use my Microsoft doesn't pick up my like victoria.rautenbach@up.ac.za, so I have to use you and my number, staff number. So you might just have to check that. If it doesn't work, we tested and we saw that you create an account with an alternative email and then just link your email back to it. Okay, so what we want to create is a virtual machine. So this is similar to the droplets I showed you with DigitalOcean. So I want to go create, and I'm selecting the Azure virtual machine. Okay, then I am just leaving this. I'm selecting my resource group that I've already created. So I'm just going to call this 709. So just 709. Let's just call it just 709. I'm leaving it in the US. This is usually a cheaper option, and I don't necessarily need fast speed. Standard, you can see here is all the different software that's available, but we are working with Ubuntu. And then size, I am selecting select all sizes. Then you can see all the different sizes and the cost, which is just busy loading. There we can see the cost. So I'm going with this one that works out at about $7.50 a month. So you get $100 for free. So this will get you quite a bit. So this is one virtual CPU, 1 gig RAM, and 2 gigs of data of storage space. So it's not very big. You can now upgrade to something like this one, for example, if you need a bit more space. But for this, I'm just going to pick that one. Select. Then you can use a SSH public key. I will talk about that at some stage as well. But for now, I am just adding a basic password. Oh, this is my username, not a password. So I'm just going to call it Victoria, and then I'm just adding a password like that. So inbound ports, we can select here. I'm going to select these two ports for now. I'll talk a bit about the ports in a little bit. So networking, default size 30 gigs. That's more than enough. Delete the VM. So when I delete my machine, it will also delete my data. So that just makes it easier for when you're deleting things. And then I can leave all these things the same. I'm also going to tick that box for the deletion. It just makes it a bit easier when you are deleting things. This one is already enabled, and the rest is just default type things. I am not going to use tags at the moment. So we're just waiting for this to load. Validation data is missing, so let's just see where I missed. Okay, my password is a bit too short, so let's just increase the size. Okay, now it should be fine. So review and create. There we can see how much I'm paying. And this is just the basic information that we set up. So I'm happy with this, so I'm just going to say create. So then we just have to wait a little bit for this to set up everything. So where VirtualBox was like almost like a container within your computer where you could install things, this is now a server online that allows you to install various software, etc. So depending on, some companies might use Windows still. We will be working on Ubuntu, and we can see that the process is running. It will create a bunch of different things. For example, the IP, this is the IP, this is the networking settings, etc. until it has completed creating all the different components. So you actually pay for each of these components. All of them cost like a little bit. So it's actually not just 750, it's 750 plus so much for the storage, plus so much for this, etc. This is where I like DigitalOcean a little bit more. There it's usually a bit more of a set price for everything. It should be finished soon. Okay, it's done. So now we can go to resource. Okay, so if I want to connect to the computer while I'm on here, I can select that and I can go to connection. So here is the little connection port. It's just connecting to the bash still. There. So now I can add that. So SSH is an application or a protocol that allows you to connect to your server. And then my username is Victoria, and then I add my IP. So that's the identifier of the computer. 7. And if I select it, I say yes, I want it to remember me, and now it wants my password. So you will see there was nothing when I typed my password. That is normal. It doesn't show you the password, but it is typing it. So here I am logged into the PC, and I can say exit, and I'm out of it. So I like to use Thermos. This is also one of the applications that you get as part of the student pack on GitHub. So if you haven't signed up, you should do that. You, for example, can get your own URL here. This is what we are using, the Azure as well. But there's a bunch of things. Here is another free URL, etc. I think there's actually a couple of URLs. So, but I like to use Thermos. So this is my Thermos, and I am going to add a new server. So I want to connect to a new server. The address is this. So this IP address. So this is what I use on my computer. My username is Victoria. Then you'll see that the port is 22. This is similar to, if you remember with Postgres, we use 54326. So, no, I'm lying. 5432, not 6. That's the projection, 5432. So, this port is just how you use the port. If you think about Juice server, it used 8080. So all these ports are just ways of connecting to various servers. So this looks fine, and I can now connect to this server. So adding continue. and here I am inside of the server. So I can now run something like sudo apt update, and it will update the server for me. Okay, so then similar to what you've done tonight, you can now go and do all those basic commands. As soon as this has ran, I'll quickly show you that. So I can say list, there's nothing there. I can say make directory, first enter list cd into first, etc. So that is the basic idea of what how to set this up on Azure.